Whoa. It just cut itself. Oh, interesting. Anyway, Brett, we're live.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live, buddy, because I don't know, we just are. How's your day going, Brett? Let's start there.
It's going all right. It's over.
Yeah. It's over? You
It's over.
You got yourself a beverage?
I have myself a Golden Road something IPA and a Super Bowl 53 koozie that I got from a
Super Bowl 53
in Atlanta, probably.
Atlanta. Oh, that's right. That was our first Super Bowl together, wasn't it?
And it was our last.
Wait, no, we went to Miami last year.
That was our last.
This year. Oh shit. Holy fuck. Super Bowl, what, 54?
Yeah. It's incredible to think about all the things that you did in 2020 between January and March 14th or whatever.
Yeah, a lot has happened, but not a lot has happened.
We went to Miami.
Together. Yeah.
I went to New Orleans with our friends Sully and Kindle.
Yeah, you did. Was that before or after?
That was before.
Before, yeah. No, right after the Super Bowl, I needed a break, so I went to Hawaii.
Yeah, I went to Salt Lake City. I did the same thing as you. I was like, I need a break.
Yeah.
And you went someplace nice. And Salt Lake City is nice. But I also went someplace mountainous and cold, like my personality.
Just so everyone's aware of who we are, I'm Ravi from the Was It Good podcast crew, and we're actually joined here today by Mr. Brett Rader. Brett, is there something you want to plug? Like, where can people find you besides www.internet.com?
Well, I have a podcast and a stream thing called Hey Julie. If you're interested in that, you're probably watching Big Brother right now as the East Coast version of Big Brother is airing right now. So I recap Big Brother episodes, my favorite television show and my least favorite television show at the same time. It's the podcast. It's called Hey Julie. You can find us on Twitters and YouTubes and Twitch at Hey Julie BB.
Nice. How often do you guys go live on your? Because I saw you just the other day, actually.
Twice a week in season. Not this Friday though, because my co-host is traveling and we don't know what her internet situation is going to be like. So we're just gonna do the pod only.
Why don't you just go live like a crazy?
I could. I might. Well, that's the thing. So Big Brother. We're going to talk a lot about that today.
That's fine with me.
Because I say so. So Big Brother has the live feed. That's why I like watching Big Brother, because the actual television show version of it is not very good. But for the most part, if you pay the $6.99 or $9.99 for CBS All Access, you can watch the live feeds of people actually playing the game in the moment from the little set in Studio City, California.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's in studios. Actually, that makes sense. It's in Studio City.
Wow, a studio in Studio City. Where did they come up with these names?
Is that why Studio City is called Studio City?
No, actually. So, remember Titanic?
Yes. Wait, the James Cameron Titanic?
The James Cameron, which is based on a true story. So, in the real life, Jack didn't die, and he started an art studio in Studio City, California, but it wasn't called that. And then they called it Studio City based on that. It was called something else.
Is this like an actual true Hollywood thing, or are you just improvising? Because I mean, it's amazing. I believe it.
I think you should have been suspicious when I said Titanic the movie.
Titanic.
Anyways, Big Brother is really fun to follow if you follow almost everything other than the television show, because the Twitter is lit, the Reddit is lit. People are like screen capping stuff, saving videos, putting stuff on YouTube, putting stuff on Twitter. So we stream. What was the question? So we stream kind of on that.
Like, why are you only streaming like twice a week?
Some people stream literally every day,
like 24/7, like a network.
No, so there is sort of a Death Star. That's a reference you understand. It's from Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
there's sort of a Death Star of
you fucker.
Sort of a Death Star of like this podcasting empire that does a lot of reality shows and stuff. So they do a podcast. They do a live stream podcast every day during Big Brother, and sometimes more than one a day. So anyways, long story short, I'm thinking this weekend, once I get my damn AC adapter for my Sony camera, I'm thinking I'm gonna start on Twitch only, not on our YouTube, just on Twitch, and we're not gonna pod this. That me and sometimes me, sometimes my co-host, sometimes both of us together, we'll just watch the live feeds and just like sit there and answer questions.
Nice.
Great story.
That is a good story. I mean, this is I think an interesting. I mean, Big Brother is what, this is season 22, right? 23,
22,
22,
23 if you count BBOTT, which was the Big Brother over the top. They only aired this on CBS All Access. People, they try to kind of erase it from history. It was a couple years ago. It actually happened in the fall of 2016, and I blocked out what happened. But certain people living in the house found out about certain things that were happening in the world and in the country during BBOTT. BBOTT was lit. It was great season. Lots of people try to forget about it. I scream about BBOTT erasure all the time. But so this is the 23rd season of Big Brother in my heart.
And you've been a fan, a lifelong fan of Big Brother
since it started. BB1.
Interesting.
2000.
So that's a little bit about Brett. But Brett, I invited you on today because today is National Middle Sibling Day or some made up Twitter bullshit holiday. And I myself, I don't know if you know about this about me, Brett, but I'm a middle brother. So I consider myself like the best sibling is to be the middle sibling. And I kind of wanted to see, there are a lot of middle sibling children and characters out there in the movie and TV landscape. Lisa Simpson is probably the only one that comes to mind right now because I didn't prep at all for this. I was, just kind of wing
and I'm learning about this right now.
Exactly. But are you aware of any like middle sibling characters?
There was one television show, I believe it was called Malcolm in the Middle.
Yep, there we go. Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really believe, as someone who's the oldest of a 2-sibling situation, I don't really believe that middle siblings exist.
I've known you for a hot minute, and when you were like, "Oh, I'm hanging out with my you're a sibling," I was like, "Wait, Brett has a sibling?"
I don't talk about my personal life.
That's good. That's smart. I wish I didn't talk about my personal life.
I'm not going to reveal what day it was, but did you know that it was my birthday within the last 2 weeks?
I do, because our boss like pointed it out.
No.
Wait, I didn't know that it was your birthday.
No one knows it's my birthday. No one knows when my birthday is. I just didn't want to say
anything.
Nobody said anything because that's how I prefer it. I'm not telling you what it was. I'm now doing a horrible job in that I revealed it sometime within
the last 2 weeks.
The last 2 weeks.
So you're an August baby? Gross.
Or July.
That's true. Or July. Damn, we're in a mystery thing right now.
No one knows my birthday by design because those watching for anyone to acknowledge it.
Those watching, we got a couple comments that came in here in terms of characters that are middle siblings. A couple that we right off the bat forgot. Squish Life here says Sansa Stark. Yeah, I guess that is technically, yeah, right. Sansa.
I do want to address a more important comment from Squish Life. It says Brett's sound sounds great, and I agree.
Wow. Which mic are you using? Let's just go completely off topic here.
Maybe let me just pull up my. Did I buy this? Let me pull up my. I don't remember the name of it, but let me pull it up.
Here, private message me. We can put the link of what this mic is, and people can go in and buy it. Also, Squish Life, are you saying that my mic is garbage, or I sound like garbage?
My mic is better than yours.
I hate you. Now we're just gonna have dead air because it's awkward. I like my microphone. It makes me look like a sportscaster.
Carlton Banks.
Carlton Banks is another middle sibling, but he's a jerk.
I haven't seen I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Wait,
so
somebody
that Sansa Stark is the middle sibling, but I have no way of knowing.
Somebody jumped into our chat, Brett, and thinks they figured out when your birthday is.
Yep.
They believe it is August 3rd,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
which is kind of bizarre because this is a friend of our podcast. I don't know if they know you, so how they would know that is kind of fascinating.
So let's back it up a little bit. I have the Rode Procaster broadcast quality dynamic microphone.
Fuck off.
That is the name. It is.
Are you going into any amp or anything? Or just straight into computer.
I am going into a Focusrite Scarlett 2-input USB audio USB interface with USB-C.
Wow.
Great stuff.
Wow. He comes on my show and he's showing me up with his, or he's sounding me up. Does that make sense? Yes. Just say yes.
Oh yeah. Were you talking to me?
Yes. I'm always talking to you, Brett. Even when you don't think I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you.
So what are we talking about? Middle children
in various movies and pop culture.
Was Anakin Skywalker a middle child? Because he was like an only child. He's like in between nothing.
I mean, does that? I don't think that.
He seemed like he had some rough stuff going on.
It seems like he had like major issues, but I think
I have some famous celebrities who are middle children.
Oh yeah, well, Ravi and I believe this concept did occur to Ravi because we talked about this on Slack a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to point out because Ravi said that he felt bad that he was a middle sibling and that he was forgotten.
That's funny, Ravi.
Chris Hemsworth is a middle sibling. That's a pretty good one.
Chris Hemsworth, Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears.
Miley Cyrus is weird. It seems like she doesn't have siblings. Like it barely like she has a famous father, and yet it seems as if she was sort of just like concocted out of an egg that landed on.
Reading all of these and also knowing Ravi, middle siblings think they're forgotten, but they always scream at the top of their lungs, "Look at me, look at me."
Yeah.
And therefore they are not forgotten. They are just obnoxious.
That's not how that works.
It's exactly how it works in our family.
Which is the middle Hansen brother? Can that lovely assistant research that for us?
Assistant, please find out who the middle.
Excuse me,
assistant, PA. There's a reason you're not on camera.
Yeah, because I'm too beautiful. I would break it.
That's why I'm here.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Brett, you're beautiful in our hearts.
Thank you. Do we know which Jonas brother is the middle?
It's the one that married the actress who's Sansa Stark. I think that's Nick. Joe is the youngest, and then the other one, the one that no one cares about, is the Trump supporter.
What? One of them is a Trump supporter?
The oldest one is a Trump supporter.
And the other two aren't? That's weird.
I don't know if the other two are.
They're probably smart and they're not coming out and saying.
Nick and Joe are the famous ones because
they're all like, we run a small business.
I might have it mixed up.
We don't support him on social issues, but we need the tax credits for our small business.
Yeah, so
there was a very funny onion. I'm just going to keep talking because my face is on here. Assistant,
exactly.
Sorry. There was a very funny onion headline that was like, it was a couple of days ago, or it might have been today. It was like Jonas Brothers realized it's a little weird that they sing about that they're three brothers who like sing about hot ladies or something like that. I don't know. That's why I don't work there.
Work where?
At The Onion.
The Onion would be a great place to work, but I feel like at some point you're pushing these fake news stories or these fake stories that you would bleed into actual reality and kind of just screw it up altogether. So, not a good idea. Brett, beyond like middle sibling things and okay, so Nick married. So I'm saying Nick married Priyanka. Joe married the Game of Thrones. Interesting. How do you marry all of Game of Thrones? It's a challenge and a half.
Bought it from HBO.
There you go. Beyond, Big Brother, and then series and celebrities abound. Middle siblings and stuff. Is there any new things that you're watching or you're doing beyond?
So I just watched all of a television program called The Sopranos. the
Wait,
other
really?
day.
Is this your first time
I
watching
watched
it?
it for
Or?
the first time. It took
Wow.
me. I probably started it a couple weeks into the quarantine, and I finished it on Wednesday of last week.
Wait, so you started at the beginning of quarantine, you said?
Yeah, a couple weeks in.
A couple weeks in. So that took you what, about 3 months?
Yeah, I watch basically one episode a day.
Nice.
Not every day.
You're not the tip like so when I get into a series, I go through like 4 or 5 a day.
No, I don't have the attention span. With that, it's like I made a little. I wasn't gonna watch all the Sopranos in like 6 days. Like
It's how
then
many seasons?
it's 6. It's like 7, but the last 2 are kind of, they call them 6A and 6B, even though
Oh, it's a split season?
it's a split season, but both of them are like only an episode or 2 shorter than a normal season. Like I think all the seasons 1 through 5 were 13 episodes, and 6A is like 10 episodes, and 6B is like 9 episodes. So it's essentially 7 seasons.
But what got you into like why Sopranos and why so late in the game? Just because you needed something epic to watch, or
yeah, I mean, it was one of those. I mean, I think everyone has those blind spots, right? Everyone has those. Oh, I haven't seen X show. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. That's partially by my own design.
Can I spoil everything for you?
I know everything that happens in it.
Oh, so you know that in season 8, the writers, the producers, HBO was basically this to us.
Yeah, I was right. You were wrong. I knew that was going to happen. Someone spoiled to me that the ending was going to be horrible 8 years in the future. So I just decided
8 years in the future? You mean 8 years in the past?
No, 8 years in the future.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, everyone has those blind spots, right? Like everyone has these classic movies or classic TV shows that everyone has fucking seen. And it's like, everyone has that where it's like, you haven't seen, like, I don't know, Casablanca. I mean, and I think that's probably a legitimate one a lot of people haven't seen because it came out like 80 years ago. But
do you want to know Rabbi's blind spot?
Love.
What? That's fucked up.
Rabbi's blind spot is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one. Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
That movie's awesome.
I have a good friend that like when I first started like hanging out with this individual, like they were like every other conversation they would bring it up consistently, and they did it for like 2 years solid. But because of that, like the amount of times they brought it up, like I think we went through like 2 Oscars, and they were like, "Oh, best visual effects, best sound design should be Mad Max." So it got to the point where I was like, "Okay, I don't really fucking care to see this film because they talk about it so goddamn much." But like, I haven't seen Sopranos either. Like, I never saw Sopranos. I haven't seen West Wing. Haven't seen The Wire.
Oh, so when I'm talking about blind spots regarding you, it's more like blind giant swaths of the landscape.
Exactly. You know, The Godfather, only seen part 1. Haven't had the energy or the interest to go see 2 or 3.
2 is really good. I haven't seen part 3 because everyone's like, it's really bad. Just don't watch it. And when a lot of people
just imagine that it's over in part 2.
Part 2 is legit good. It's really good. It's probably better than part 1. It's quite long.
You've seen you've seen like
I watch most things.
Like Star Wars you've seen.
Yeah, Captain Picard.
Okay. Oh, can we talk about Picard? How fucking garbage
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Okay. It was terrible. Don't bother.
That's what I hear.
Do you consider yourself a Trekkie?
Okay. This is a good question. Philosophically, I consider myself a Trekkie.
How? Okay, wait. Can we go
here's
back?
The thing.
Yeah,
I don't think. Let's go. Okay, you guys would bring this up to me at our collective offices all the time, and here's me bringing back one of my hits. Star Wars is for children. Star Wars is like, it's fine. You know what? I'll be real. I fucking see every Star Wars movie. I actually I watched the Mando during quarantine. I really liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would. But generally, I don't think the movies are very good. And I think that adults who get mad on the internet have really lost the script here. Like, we're getting mad about it. Like, they make children's lunchboxes and backpacks out of this movie. Like, that's who it's for. It's like for kids to have a BB-8 backpack. Like, why is an adult getting like really upset about this movie being bad? It's bad. So philosophically, I really like Star Trek better. I think it's more of a science fiction premise exploring philosophical quandaries in space or whatever. Star Wars is essentially a fantasy. Star Wars is space opera. Star Wars is a fantasy story that happens to take place in outer space. But you could easily port all of those things to a desert land or to a fantasy forest land or
it's more
whatever.
classic sci-fi, right? Like,
No, I mean it's not even classic sci-fi. No, it's a fantasy story. It's a fantasy trope. It's a fantasy story about like a young knight with swords and shit and using and learning how to use magic. Like it's a pure fantasy story.
it's called Space
I'm
Man.
more interested in like more hard sci-fi that are about like actual issues and exploring the issues of planet Earth in the context of space.
So, have you seen Star Trek Lower Decks yet? The animated series?
No, that being said, I don't really watch any of the damn Star Trek shows. Like I've seen a few episodes here and there, and I was like, this is kind of boring. I'm not gonna watch this stupid animated show. I've seen pretty much all of the Star Trek movies, and there's some that I like. First Contact's pretty good.
You love the whale one, right? Star Trek 5?
Yeah, the Return Home, or is that the New Frontier? I forget. It's one of those two. So I've seen basically all the Star Trek movies from the original movie to Star Trek Nemesis with a young Tom Hardy. That movie's like not that bad.
Thank you. There are a lot of people out there that are like, "Oh, this is a terrible piece of garbage, garbage film."
It's not great, but the worst Star Trek movie, and I kind of get all of the like original series ones confused, especially the one with the whales where they go to like 1970s San Francisco and like hang out at Haight-Ashbury. The one that really sucks of the newer ones, and I think it's called Insurrection. It's the one where they're on the planet that makes you immortal.
Is that with Next Generation Crew?
Yeah, that's all Next Generation Crew.
And isn't it though? Like, if I'm remembering this correctly, because I think I've only seen it like twice because it's really kind of bleh. But isn't there also like this like terrorism to a degree going on? Like some really bad shit is happening on that planet. And I remember like they're hiding in a mountain.
Yeah, so the Federation. I actually watched this movie quite recently.
Okay, please explain.
So they're like doing a mission on like some planet where the people are immortal, and F. Murray Abraham plays like the leader of a mean aliens. They're mean and they have ugly faces because they're mean, and he had made a deal with like some rogue Federation admiral or whatever that they were gonna like murder everyone on this planet and suck up all the power that makes the planet give people immortality.
Lovely.
And it's just bad. They're on this boring ass planet the entire time. Picard like gets a love interest.
Wait, that's not Beverly Crusher?
No, he gets a love interest who's like some like vaguely hot 53-year-old woman, and it's just bad. And like anytime they go to like a peaceful planet and they're like, please, this is just a peaceful planet, like, and the design is always horrible. Like, why do people dress like this? Why do people behave like this? It's just dumb. Give me the other TNG movies over.
So you're saying RC Insurrection can, when we come to the, as they call it, the prime universe, right? You consider one of the not so great Star Trek films. What about like the J.J. Abrams Calvin universe?
I like all of them. I mean, I think the Benedict Cumberbatch movie is a little bit goofy, but I don't know. I like the JJ. I like the JJ ones. Whatever, they're fine.
I mean, I don't know. I would take even the whale one. I would take over Star Trek Beyond.
It's weird. A lot of people like Star Trek Beyond, and I watched it. I was like, this is fine. Whatever.
I mean, in terms of like power rankings, I go like with the J.J. Abrams one, the Star Trek, the first one, the third one, and then the second one. The second one, I think what makes the second one difficult to watch is because Benedict Cumberbatch is supposed to be Khan, and I'm a sucker for the marketing stuff in the sense of like if marketing is is pushing something and it's building up my hype or whatever, I believe it because I'm an idiot consumer, right? Like marketing works on me very, very
true.
well.
You are an idiot.
Thanks. Fuck you. But the marketing was set up, and there were like before the movie came out, there were all these like hints and things like, oh, it's not really Khan, it's a different character. And then you're sitting in the movie theater and you're like, this guy's interesting. Okay, da da da. And then he just comes out and he says Khan, and it's like,
and he says it in a weird,
everything.
and he says it in,
he
like
says
a
it in
really,
such
like,
a
revealy way too.
Yeah,
My name is Khan, and there's like fucking horns and shit. It's like it doesn't even exist as its own moment. It exists as a reference to a previous moment from a movie 35 years ago. So it's I don't know. It's whatever. It's fine. Who cares?
I mean,
movie
we're all space dust.
Borderline for children.
Star Trek. I mean, I wonder if so Gene Roddenberry, the whole original idea behind Star Trek was to create and show a future where we have equality, where racism, where the issues of today don't necessarily exist.
Do you know there's no money in the Star Trek universe?
Yeah, you don't make any money.
So
you do it for the good of mankind, which is.
I've dove into this a bit because in Star Trek 1, the Chris Pine movie, the first of those, there's a scene early on where they're at a bar.
Yeah.
And someone says, can I buy you a drink? And like the Star Trek universe was like, what? You can't buy anyone anything because there's no money because it's utopia. So I guess it's been like retconned or explained like in the the novelization or whatever that can I buy you a drink has carried on in society as a colloquialism. So even though no one is paying for anything, it's a general way to show respect in the way that it's respectful to buy someone a drink now. Like if you know, if I were to go out with you right now, Rob, you'd be like, can I buy you a drink? I'd be like, make it a double.
Fuck that, Brett. If we were able to go out to a bar right now, you'd be like, make that goddamn quadruple.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, there it has been explained why people do say in the Star Trek universe, can I buy you a drink?
That's amazing. That's interesting. And honestly, that kind of makes sense, especially like in that first J.J. Abrams Star Trek, they're on Earth, right? Which would make sense that that type of terminology would stick around, right? It wouldn't like disappear.
I mean, they listened to like the Beastie Boys in that movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's probably that entire sequence was kind of cool. And the fact that he steals that classic car and got the Beastie Boys going and you know, there was definitely like this isn't your parent Star Trek.
Could I spoil a very light spoiler, completely inconsequential spoiler from The Sopranos, but something that I noticed? Like, I'm always interested in like when pop culture exists when actual pop culture that we consume exists in fictional worlds. So in a very early season of The Sopranos, Paul Dano plays one of his son's friends for like an episode. Like, he's just there and he's just like, oh, gee, Mr. Soprano.
Wait, Paul Dano being he's
the act. Yeah, he was in There Will Be Blood.
Yes.
So he's in one episode as like one of AJ, his son's friends or whatever. They're like driving him to a soccer practice or whatever, and he has 4 lines and it's out and he's young. It's like, oh, Paul Dano, he becomes a successful actor.
I know that guy.
One of the last episodes, one of the final episodes of The Sopranos, very briefly, is someone watching the movie Little Miss Sunshine on television. So it's made me think, is Paul Dano, the actor, exist in this universe? Is he the same as the kid who they drove to like a soccer practice like 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Or are there duplicates? Is it just completely there's Paul Dano the actor who looks exactly like the kid who they drove to soccer practice like 5 seasons ago? I just love that. I love that stuff.
I think that stuff is great, like especially when like real pop culture, real life things end up in these like massive expanded universes.
Yeah.
And I like to think that like, you know, that's a cool whatever, but we both know it's most likely some producer that's just like, I'm funny and then Okay? Like it's just get it off.
What was he like? What did he do?
He was he's like Waluigi. He's like Waluigi.
I love Waluigi.
Do you ever play any of the Switch game or any of the Nintendo games?
I actually
like
played a lot of
Smash?
Super Smash this weekend.
Yeah. I've picked back up on Smash Bros. I've been playing a crap ton of Mario Party. Wow.
I bought the
weird.
new Mario Party and I actually just returned it for like Amazon credit.
Nice.
Trade-in
Wait, Amazon
credit.
lets you return games?
Amazon trade-in store. So it's really good if you buy physical versions of games. I know lots of people are like, but it's just easier to buy the digital version. If you buy the physical version, you can trade in stuff to Amazon. You'll get like, if it's a brand new game and you play it like 5 times, like I did Mario Party. I was like, this sucks. What the fuck am I doing? I don't have Mario Party is great if you're 10 years old and have friends. I'm in my 30s and have 0 friends. So I'm like, what am I doing?
I have brothers. Does that count? They're not really friends.
I mean, that counts. And you have enough people to get a nice like 4-person game going there. But yeah, so you can trade stuff into Amazon. You can get like $30 back for a game or something like that.
That's not bad, actually. That's good to know.
The next game you buy is $30 off.
There you go. Oh, somebody just hit me with some information. Original host and actress Olivia Munn is in final talks to return to G4 when the network fuck off.
Is that true?
Have you heard about this? So
the G4 is coming. Oh, I know.
G4, so do you remember G4 TV?
Oh my! Yeah. I mean,
oh yeah.
For whom was G4 and Olivia Munn not a transformative evolutionary experience?
What the fuck?
A coming of age experience.
But that's interesting. So Olivia, I know Kevin Piera. When the G4, so they made the announcement was kind of funny. The G4 TV Twitter handle, which had been inactive on and off for a couple of years, put some kind of like teaser video out. And then prior to that, Kevin Piera, one of the hosts for one of the G4, was it whatever the main show was, Attack of the Show, or is it Attack of the Show?
I only know one person from G4.
And that's Olivia Munn or Sarah.
That would be Olivia Munn. I'll just stop you right there.
But that's interesting. So Olivia Munn's potentially coming back to the G4 TV network.
That's crazy because she was like a legit like movie star for a hot minute. She had 4 lines.
She plays Psylocke in X-Men.
Exactly. She had 4 lines in an X-Men movie. That got stabbed or whatever. And that movie was not good.
X-Men Apocalypse, by far, like when they first went like way before like we saw any trailers, promotional or anything, and they were like Oscar Isaacs is playing
Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's Apocalypse. Yeah, when he's playing Apocalypse, I was like, oh my god, Oscar Isaac. He's a great fucking actor. Like he comes with a presence.
So and then you put a mattress on top of him.
Exactly. You saw Thor 2, right?
I don't remember Thor.
So do you know Christopher Eccleston, the actor? He was the 9th Doctor in the Doctor Who reboot that happened. He's another great.
I'm only up to the 8th Doctor right now, so no.
Anyway, he's a great like British stage actor.
Yeah,
and they did the exact same thing where they just threw so much makeup and plastic on his face you couldn't tell it's him. It's like, well, why not just hire me and throw a bunch of plastic on my face and give me like half the salary?
Hire an actor who like is under a goofy costume at Disneyland. Like if the skill set is to be as emotive as possible wearing an unemotive amount of costume and makeup. I guess that's why Doug Jones has a job.
But Doug Jones though, especially it just ties us back to Star Trek, like the new Star Trek Discovery. He does a great job with these creatures, where it's not just solely facial expressions, but also
he's like a movement artist.
Yeah, he's a great like Pan's Labyrinth as the eyeball hand thing. That shit scared the hell out of me for years and still does actually. Probably not going to sleep tonight.
I have to get off this stream right now because I heard someone sneezing.
So you might get
so
sick.
I just want to make sure I don't get COVID.
Yeah, because just like what was it? Bleach fixes COVID. COVID can be transmitted through microphones
digitally. Yeah, there's no way to prove that it can't.
That's
all I'm saying.
Well, so you have Alexa or Siri devices, like
I
smart home
do.
devices? There's
I
a
have 3.
YouTuber who discovered a way to use light rays to trigger your smart home devices.
Cool.
Yeah, right. So that's a sound thing, like turning light into sound. So maybe it's possible.
That's
Who knows?
interesting.
Yeah.
So is there like an IR receiver on? I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want it to turn on
Hey
my
Alexa. Oh wait,
Amazon.
you
I have
can't.
headphones in.
Oh, my
No,
Alexa just turned on. Fuck.
exactly. On the Amazon smart speaker device, is there like something that reads light?
There's some kind of. So I guess remember, like, well, Brett, you should know this. You're a sound guy.
Technically.
Sound is just an energy wave, right? Bunch of
Sound
energy.
is different. Is pressure? Is like I mean, but it's not energy wave like light is.
Right, but there's still, like you said, like a pressure, like a boom, boom, boom,
It's
boom,
very
boom.
basic. Yeah,
Light.
So it's sound waves. It's like difference in sound pressure, like moving, and then
Right. So what he did was figure a way to direct light to create the pressure.
to create the air.
Yeah,
Sure,
because
I
like
mean,
for the easiest way to kind of explain is like if we're standing here on Earth and we feel the sun, yeah, we feel heat. But if we're like out in space, 5 miles from it, we're burning because of the pressure, the actual like light rays and everything is destroying us, which is just wonderful.
that has to do with the atmosphere.
Well, I'm just saying if we remove everything, it was just solely energy from the light coming out that would still eradicate us.
I guess so.
I mean, I'm not a scientist, so don't listen to anything I'm saying.
But I guess
not
I'm
a
just not
doctor,
familiar with. I guess I'm not familiar, and maybe that's why this guy invented the thing of like light being used to create like actual like pressure differences in air. But
I'm gonna find the video and
why I
send
do
it to you.
dumb podcasts for a living. Talk about Big Brother on the internet.
I mean, if you have the audience, why not, right? I mean,
The jury's out.
the jury is out right now. We had a couple comments here regarding our conversation about Star Trek. Sorry if I'm a little slow to the comments, but somebody had said, speaking on the J.J. Abrams part, surfing to sabotage not only ruined the song, it ruined Star Trek. Got that comment up on the screen right now. That was from Miko Matter. How do you feel about that, Brett?
I don't care.
You don't care about anything. What do you care about, Brett? Like
Big Brother.
you're obsessed.
I don't think the song nor the movie was ruined by a Beastie Boy by their coexistence.
Are you would you consider yourself a J.J. Abrams fan, or do you appreciate what he's done? What
I
are your
appreciate
thoughts
what
on
he's done with the acknowledgement that he's more of like a stylist than an actual like storyist. Like it's funny that to a lot of people when you say J.J. Abrams, it means like, oh, it's gonna be a labyrinthian story full of puzzles and mysteries and stuff. But it's like, bro's never delivered on that. What he
Yeah.
actually is like a bit of like a Spielberg clone when it comes to like style and action, and in particular like sci-fi tropes and stuff. And he's kind of carried on that flame, but like I would say that there are much better artists out there in terms of delivering like a cohesive story. Like if he does something, I'm kind of gonna check it out, I guess. But I don't know, like the same when you get really big like J.J. Abrams, like if you kind of like sneeze like someone just did in that room, if you sort of sneeze at a script, they go executive produced by J.J. Abrams, and it's like that could mean anything. And I'm usually wary of when like they say a celebrity executive produced something. That could kind of mean that they read the script once and like sent off an email afterwards. So I don't know, like I mean, if he's directing a new movie, well, here's the thing. He just directed a movie. It is called The Star Wars 9, The Skywalker's Revenge.
No, it's
that
called
movie was fucking horrible.
Ravi, without looking it up, do you remember the title?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, because I know you had difficulty remembering the title.
I have a
well.
difficult
How
like
could you remember the title in a movie that was so fucking bonkers? Like everything happened in that movie. I forgot what it was.
I only really remember it currently because there was a a creator online who showed how reversing the titles from episodes 1 through 9,
Well, not reversing, changing it up.
changing it up essentially, but changing it up would make more sense than based on what we got compared to like, what's been given or whatever. So that's why I remembered it currently. I mean, if it had been like a day, like 2 days later, I probably would have been like, I can't remember. I think there was something Skywalker in there, but yeah.
Just to go on Brett's point about EPs versus producers and like celebrity names on
let's get into
EPs.
that shit.
Yeah, when you see an executive producer name, just think they provided X amount of money, essentially, or resources to the project, but didn't necessarily work on it day to day. Versus if they're named as a producer, they probably did actual work on the movie. That's really the biggest difference between an EP and a producer. That's like Spielberg executive produces everything, but that's because he uses his Spielberg.
It's also a marketing ploy.
Absolutely right.
No,
and they also
exactly.
provide that money too.
It doesn't. Do they provide that money, or do they?
Well,
know
their
it's a
company
marketing
that
ploy, and they're just like, "Hey, you're going to get the EP credit, so we can use your name in marketing material."
I think it's a combo too, because it also comes down to the production company. Like, if let's say the J.J. Abrams production company, Bad Robots, is providing, production resources for one scene, you can then legally say, co-produce or whatever by Bad Robot, and then you can also throw it to sweeten the deal and say, oh yeah, JJ also gets the EP credit.
Yeah, so like for example, there's a show that's premiering on HBO this Sunday. It's called Lovecraft Country.
Oh, they're throwing his name out there.
And JJ and Jordan Peele are both listed as EPs, right? Now, we know Jordan Peele also was an EP on the upcoming movie Candyman. He's an EP and stars in Twilight Zone. He's also producing other movies, other TV shows. So, even though his name's attached to it, how much has he actually involved in the day-to-day? Probably not a ton. Same thing with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they use it in a lot of things. Like, I'm just always suspicious whenever someone is listed as an executive producer or anything. I just assume that they did nothing.
You should be.
Let's be honest. So you watched Key and Peele, right, Brett?
Yes.
Do you feel that Keegan ever gets a little jealous of like Jordan?
Yes and no. I mean, I've heard interviews with him, and he's like, I think he went to Juilliard or like Yale. Like he is like more of a classically trained actor than Peele is.
Yeah.
And I know Jordan, I don't really know too much, but I know he kind of came up through Second City in Chicago. And I don't know exactly where their paths met and
Mad TV, I believe.
Mad TV is where they met.
Yeah. So
they were both writers on there.
I don't know. And maybe this is Keegan just saying this in an interview and like trying to spin it in a positive way while he like secretly stabs a Jordan Peele voodoo doll at night or whatever. But from interviews that I've heard with him, he kind of is more of a performer. He has more of that classical like Yale or Juilliard acting training and stuff. And that's kind of more of his thing. Whereas Jordan is, came up through comedy, came up writing, obviously interested in directing and stuff. And I legitimately think Michael Keys is like not interested in directing and like he just wants to be in movies and host game shows and shit.
They're also teaming up for a new movie.
What is
Keanu 2?
I wish it was Keanu 2. No, it's a they wrote a movie together. It's based off of one of their sketch characters. Do you remember Wendell, the fat nerdy guy that Jordan Peele plays? They do the music video one.
And the pizza, right?
And the pizza one, yeah. That's the Wendell character. They're doing a stop action fantasy comedy horror movie with that character. Keegan playing his brother in the stop action motion. The director is the guy that did James and the Giant Peach, Nightmare Before Christmas.
And so someone's got a lot of
that stop action. But you know about like James and the Giant Peach stuff. So they're doing that movie, and they wrote it, and they're both starring in it together. And that comes out next year.
I doubt it.
It's on Netflix.
I doubt
it's animated.
It comes out next year.
What?
Everything?
More fucking coronavirus. Maybe
Ladies
the
and gentlemen, Brett
coronavirus.
Rader. He is the happiest producer out there right now. Happy for COVID.
Yep.
No one's happy for COVID.
I mean,
Let's
no.
get political, Brett. Yesterday's big news: the VP running mate for Biden.
I think it was a good decision.
I think it's a great decision. I
think
finally get Indian representation in the White House.
It's been a long time. I mean,
Wait, you mean a long time? When was the last time it ever happened?
never. It's been a while. It's been a very long time.
Well, how could it be a while if it's never happened?
I don't know. I think it's a good decision. I'll be honest. I didn't really support either of these people, during the primaries, but I think this was the right choice. I think of the options, I think this was really, really the right choice. And I hope it's not just like the afterglow of the last 24 hours, but people do seem to be pretty energized about it. And Kamala, I apologize.
Kamala, yeah.
I think especially for this presidential candidate, the vice president needs to be vetted and willing and able and to assume the role of president. Like,
oh wow, some pretty big statements there.
I don't wish anything bad on the guy, but he's like
I
77, 78 years old, and he's had
Yeah.
like brain aneurysm and surgery and shit before. Like, I don't think that Joe Biden's going to. I wish he is. I hope he is. I don't think Joe Biden's gonna, like, I don't know, if you were an actuary or providing life insurance, I don't know if he's gonna like live 8 years. Let's
Yeah,
just
and
be real.
you have to have serious. I mean, a lot of people already speculate if Biden does win, will he actually run for a second term?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, nobody speculated that when Obama won in 2008. Oh, is he gonna run? Like, of course he is. He's a young man.
It was an obvious choice. That made complete sense.
With an old, maybe he only runs for 4 years, and Kamala is the candidate in 2024. So you can't. Susan Rice seems like a extremely accomplished woman.
Mhm.
But she doesn't really strike me as like a sort of presidential going out there and doing the stump speeches and rallying people. She seems like she'd be a great Secretary of State or whatever. And it seemed like it was between those two. And I think this is really a fantastic decision.
I'm interested to see. I mean, the Trump side has been, for the most part, or has been. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, especially in the chat. They've been quiet. They haven't said anything since the announcement.
They've released tons of stuff calling her. It's weird. No, it's weird because like their statements on her have been completely disparate. They've been like contradictory, which in one way I don't think that the people who like really support Trump care. Because like yesterday it's like Kamala Harris is the most liberal member of the Senate. She's like further left than Karl Marx. She's coming to give free healthcare to everybody and take and
free healthcare.
And it's like, well, it's just weird because it's like they're framing her as like the most liberal member of the Senate, which she absolutely isn't. And then today, they're releasing a statement that are like Democrats are, disappointed in her because she's not very liberal or whatever. So it's like, what is it? On one hand, it's like poor messaging from the Trump administration. Wow, crazy. Who knew? But
big surprise.
But yeah, exactly.
Much surprise.
But on the other hand, the people, like, it's not about the day-to-day for a lot of people who support the current administration. It's not about how consistent the message is day over day. It's like, does what is coming out right now fit my current belief, which is everything bad, Trump good. And it's like yesterday, Kamala Harris is the most liberal, progressive person on Senate, and she's gonna take away all your food. People were like, people who support Trump probably be like, shit, yeah.
That's those targeted ads though too, right? I mean,
and then
today they play a piece.
Yeah, and then today they can come out and say, "Oh, she's not liberal enough." The Democrats are very unenthusiastic about her, and then people who support Trump will be like, "Oh, yeah, sounds about right to me." I still don't like her. Like, Who cares? Whatever.
So just to go back to the age thing real quick, Donald Trump, when he became president, was the oldest man to be sworn in as president.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden, I think he was like 70, 71
Yeah.
when he was sworn in. Joe Biden, if he did win and was sworn in, he would be 78 years old when he is sworn in.
My big thing
which
here,
would then make him
here's
the
my
oldest.
thing, like Obama and I mean Clinton as well, I believe was around a similar age, maybe 5 years up or down, I don't know.
To Obama?
Yeah, like when he was sworn in for,
he was like in his
he was
probably
young.
early-
he was
early
young. I
50s,
think
yeah.
we should be going for like
Younger candidates.
I think we should go for, 35 is when you can kind of start. You may not win, but that's fine. But like 35 and then the limit should be 65. And then that's it.
You should know how to force quit an app.
Yes. I think there should be some like basic technology like
I mean,
tests
that's a huge thing, is that you should know how to like use basic technology. It's like,
yes, big time. Like you shouldn't need an aide or an entire team to like you shouldn't need like one individual whose job is like to figure out your phone issues or like figure out how to open a spreadsheet. Like we need people in power that understand technology, number one, because that's the one thing that is never going away. It's just going to get crazier and crazier.
Radical idea. So in the NFL at the combine, there's this thing called the Wonderlic test.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right. And even though it is considered arbitrary and like the numbers don't mean much, should there be some type of test that candidates have to do and the score is released publicly on how they score on that test, which has basic comprehension and like you could even add tech in there. You could add in just basic like, reading comprehension.
I don't think
all that type
I
of
don't
stuff.
think it should be just for the president. I think you start at any position of political power.
Mm.
Like if you're running for like city council, I think even you should be able to showcase that you have a basic grasp on, the fun. Like we don't go and hire a CEO of a business without knowing that they have a core understanding of what that business or what that company, wherever it is that they do, right? Like you make sure that you bring somebody in that has a basic understanding of whatever that business or that thing
That's
is.
not like that's not how I did do it, man. I just like shoot from the hip. I just want a CEO. I just want a CEO I can have a beer with.
You just want a CEO that you can have a beer with. Lovely.
So I have two responses to the test.
Okay.
One, the test exists.
Mhm.
Say it with me. It's called man, woman, camera, TV. Man, woman, camera, TV.
MW.
This was a joke. This was a joke on the internet like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago, I forgot what happened like 2 hours ago. Come
So
on.
some people got that. Okay, second bit here. Here we go. Okay, so I've had this thought before, and there should be a test to make people president. And there's one question. The question is, do you want to be president of the United States of America? And if they answer yes, they are disqualified. Anyone who wants to be president is not qualified to be president because they want too much power.
Are you going back to like the Roman times where, if the city was under stress, they would elect a leader and, typically that leader wouldn't want to get, they would give up the power. Like, is that what you're
No,
thinking?
I'm saying the
That's
president
kind of how
should
it
be,
started, though.
the president should be the most qualified person who does not want to have that job. Because that they're not going to want to stay in it for that long. You know that they're not going to try and do things to amass power for themselves.
So switching gears real quick to like,
we have a question about this in the chat. Do you mind if I respond?
Yeah, go for it. How do
Michael Matter says, but if they don't want it, they won't work hard at it.
That's a good point.
Lots of people don't work hard at the jobs that they want.
I mean, yeah, look at my job. Never mind. I really hope nobody from work is watching.
I'm not saying that about myself.
That's a good. I mean, to Miko Matter's point, that's a very good question. Like, Brett, you're a manager. You've been a manager. Like, you're not going to go and hire someone. You're not going to go hire someone to work on your team that isn't a clear go-getter and like wants it, right?
Yeah, I know. Trust me. I've like flunked out of job interviews in my life where I'm like, yeah, I could tell that like they could tell that I kind of like didn't even know what this job was and like didn't really care about it that much. Like I should
You
be
were
more.
just doing it for the sake of doing it.
I was doing it because I don't know how they do things in your neck of the woods, but where I live in America, you trade currency for goods and services. So
Not like
needed
in
a
Star
job.
Trek land.
Yeah, no, I needed a job. Like there have been times where like I needed a freaking job.
Yep.
And I've like showed up to job interviews and I've just been like, I don't care. I just want the job. You know.
I used to work, so I don't know if you know this, I used to work in IT prior to my current gig, and you would see that a lot where it was like we would get interviews with candidates where it was just a flat out like, I just need a job. And it's like, I'm a hard worker, I'll do the job, but like,
And I know a shitload about computers.
and I know a shitload about computers. It's like, well, that's what I need. I just need A, B, and C filled, and that's good to go. Miko Man also says, to be fair, any job is one I don't want. Miko Matter, you sound like someone that would be perfect for the president.
That's what I was gonna say. Miko Matter, congratulations, you're president now.
You're president of the fucking United States. Oh shit! Actually, so Miko Matter, just so you are aware, Bray, is a friend of ours, and he is of age where he could run technically.
Great.
So, I mean, if we want a really fun COVID project.
Well, I think it's too late as our
friend, not this. No,
as
this
our
election.
friend Kanye West has demonstrated. I think it's a little bit too late to get on many of our states' ballots in the fall. So maybe we can focus on 2024.
2024 sounds like a good time.
I don't have any plans.
I think wait, isn't the Olympics supposed to be here in LA in 2024?
That would be 2028.
2028, that's right.
You and I are going on a romantic trip to Paris to see the Olympics in
In 2024?
Yeah.
Is the actually, let's speak about Olympics real quick. Obviously, the Olympics were supposed to be in 2020, and I was supposed to go and
I know
have a fun time in Tokyo, but fucking bullshit happened. I'm not bitter. So you know, if they do happen in 2021, are they still on course for 2024, or are we going to foresee a forever push?
No, everything's going to stay as
in
planned.
Place.
It's just that the 20 and they're still going to call them the 2020 the Olympics that take place in 2021 will still be called the 2020 Olympics.
That's interesting.
From like a branding thing.
Is that more so like in the future, like 100 years go into the future, and the world's like rewritten history, and they don't want to remember COVID at all? So you can look back at
like a fun asterisk on the Wikipedia page.
That's kind of like the NBA this 2020 season. Whoever wins, is it an asterisk championship?
Not if it's the Lakers.
Wow.
No, here's the thing with all of these.
Yeah.
Maybe not baseball. But if the Dodgers win, who knows? I think it is not an asterisk championship if you win. If you win in this year, no matter what sport you're playing, you're winning in the most unusual and difficult circumstances you've probably ever played in your life, whether that's being in Disneyland away from your family, but I guess not away from your family anymore because they're letting
they opened that up officially. I think today.
Did you see the rules? Did you see the rules on that?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And there was essentially like the booty call provision, which is like you can only bring in people you are related to and and it like says specifically like not people you've hung out with once, meaning
booty calls.
I didn't say it, you did.
You said it first.
I know. So that's funny. Whatever. Back to it. I don't think there's going to be an asterisk champion in any sport unless the Astros win. So like this is really hard whether you're baseball, football, basketball, hockey, highlight, cornhole, chess, Big Brother.
You know, there's a cornhole like league, right?
Yeah, it was the only thing on ESPN for a solid 2 months.
Do you remember ESPN did some ESPN really kind of went out there. They did the horse thing. Remember the horse live stream that they did?
I remember it happened. I didn't watch it because I knew it was going to
There was the Peloton live stream that they fucking did too.
What?
They did a Peloton like
it was just people working out.
People working out. It's like
be like, Ravi, you're doing well. Ravi in LA, I see you.
We got a couple comments here on the bubble in the NBA. There's a height limit too. No one under 33 inches in a
Yeah.
Disney bubble.
I don't have to go.
Oh boy. Well, Brett, I think we hit an hour. That's all I really wanted to talk to you for, so I'm good there.
Yeah, it was great. I'll talk to you in another 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, right.
It's definitely hit our quota for
hanging out and just chit chatting,
yeah,
shooting
an
the
hour.
shit.
1 hour every 6 months is
I think that's good. That's more than enough time.
absolutely.
Yeah. Is there any last things you want to say, Brett, before we sign off here?
Follow me on Twitter at Brett Raider. Follow my pod at Hey Julie BB.
When
Come on, you have nothing else to do. Watch Big Brother with me.
Exactly. This is very true. I'm very excited. If you guys do get the Twitch stuff up and running, please let us know. We will support and we will, as they call it, co-stream you on Twitch.
So I'm using OBS right now, but I'm thinking about like moving everything to Streamlabs.
Well, Streamlabs is also part of OBS.
Yeah. It's like just like sort of a
it's a cleaner interface. I'm really
Absolutely.
liking the StreamYard stuff, especially for remote calls like this. This is clean, very easy. It's good quality.
Just like my hair, because I shampoo it.
Your hair looks great. Mine still. I'm still
good, man. You look. I think you're looking good. Your beard is longer than your hair.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, I just said fuck it, grow out the beard. The hair's not coming back as fast as I want it to.
Like it probably came back fast to begin with, and then now it's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's my own fault. I bleached my hair like 5 or 6 times, so
now I don't have any. Have you cut your hair at all since you shaved it?
Once.
Like just some like maintenance to make sure it's not.
No, so what happened was I had the the blonde hair, and then I shaved the sides and did a faux hawk thing. Then I shaved everything off. Then I grew it a little bit for like 2 weeks, and I shaved it. And then since then, this is where I'm at.
Cool.
So yeah,
cool. Good story, bro.
Couple last minute comments here. The professional mic on Brett's end was the real winner.
Hey,
I fucking hate you guys. You're supposed to be on my side. I mean, but I had the better camera. I don't know if I look better than Brett, but you know, I got that nice bokeh going. So boom, win there.
So I was gonna have one, but I did something. I didn't charge my camera very well.
Yeah, it's called an AC adapter, bro. Okay.
It's coming in the mail on Amazon tomorrow. I would like to plug Amazon.com. It's a small
Jeff Bezos is giving me a small portion of his fortune.
Shipping, logistics, and warehouse delivery website. I also want to plug www.internet.com. www.internet.com is where you can find me as well. Also launching a new website next month. It's called www. Now write this down. www.computer.com.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
Not computer.edu.
No.
No, I'm not. I'm not a university. This is for profit.
You don't see yourself as a university. The University of Brett.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea.
That's a great idea. You get that tax write-off.
Yeah, I guess so.
Thank you for watching, everybody. As always, we do the Was It Good podcast live on twitch.tv. You can follow us along on Twitter at Was It Good and on Instagram at Was It Good BTM. We will be back Friday on Twitch and probably Facebook. We'll be showing our newest project, Drunk History, a Star Wars retelling of Rogue One, starring our very own Krishna Ramgopal.
So he's
guess what?
Drunk and describe the plot of Rogue One.
This guy gets it. Yes,
this guy internet's
like crazy.
I'm going on my computer. I'm bookmarking that on my
that shit
Netscape.com.
Fucking now. Thank you again, everybody. We're gonna get the F out of here. Goodbye.
Peace.